Happy lunch hour, guys. Okay, so everything's getting a little more expensive for you and me, isn't it? Yeah, don't have to tell you about inflation. We all know what it is. Here's an interesting thing. You know who's benefiting from the inflation? Yeah, the ones who are causing it. Okay, if you think they're going to do anything to stop it, you're sadly mistaken. You know, I want you to think about this for a second. We heard all that screaming for $15 minimum wage. Okay. Minimum wage, I think the federal minimum wage is like 7.25 or something like that. 7.25 annualizes out at about $15,000. Okay. You're not paying any income tax making that wage. Okay. Full-time job at 7.25, you're making about 15 grand. Once you get to $15 an hour, annualize that out, that's $30,000. Okay. Now you're paying federal income tax. You're making more money. The cost of everything went up, but the government's making more money. Interesting how that one works, huh? They don't want they want to keep hiking the price of stuff because it brings in more tax dollars. Why do they want to do that? Well, let's take a look at this. We all know officially the federal government's $31 trillion in debt. The accurate number is probably closer to 142 trillion, okay? But yeah, $142 trillion. Can you guys even write that on a piece of paper? It's a lot of freaking zeros. There is not a single state in the country that is not in debt. Some are in a lot better shape than others, okay? I mean, ironically, Texas is the state in the best shape of any. Texas only has a net debt of $115 billion. It's not bad, okay, considering the size of Texas. I mean, your top five states: Texas, Florida, Alaska, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Those are the five states that are in the best financial shape uh, in the country. I don't want to get into who the worst are. I think you guys could probably figure that one out, and they'll have something in common. They're a pretty shade of blue. But I want to give you this, all right? And this was kind of interesting when I saw an article on some of this and I started putting together more numbers. Now, I want you to remember this is average across the country. This is not going to affect everybody. Taxes are different in New York than they are in Kansas. I mean, Tennessee, Florida, Texas doesn't have state income tax. Okay, so this is an average across the country, also with an average income across the country. The absolute average American pays $23,241.30 in taxes every year. And that's combined between a little more than $8,500 in federal tax, $2,500 in state and local tax, $5,500 in Social Security tax, $2,500 in property tax, $3,200 in sales tax, and about $1,000 in Medicare tax. Okay, so that is what you as an individual or as a household are paying. Okay, $23,241 as in taxes. You know what else you're paying not even $23,241 for? Again, on average. Electric, water, fuel gas, okay, I mean heating gas to heat your house, propane, that sort of stuff. Food, clothing, healthcare, gasoline, and car insurance. All of those combined. Electric, $1,464. Water, $1,000. Gasoline, $750, or I'm sorry, heating gas, $750. Food, $8,300. Clothing, $1,800. Healthcare, $5,500. Affordable Care Act? Gasoline, $2,100. Car insurance, $1,800. We are giving more of our hard-earned money to the government than to pay all of our necessities in life other than our car payment and our house payment or rent payment. electric, water, gas, food, clothing, healthcare, gasoline, car insurance. The only other bill in there would be renter's insurance / home insurance. And that I can't even begin to figure out because rent insurance and house insurance are so totally, you can't come up with an average for residence insurance. So this is what we get into. We're forced to give all this money to our government authorities. And what are they doing with it? We all talk about how much money it's costing us to support Ukraine, how much money it's talking about, it costs us to support the illegal invasion, how much money we're paying for Congress's salaries and all the pork they're doing, whatever. All this crap that we're paying for. $23,231 or $241.30 per household in this country goes to the government. Yeah, okay. You wonder who you're working for and where it goes. We don't see most of it, okay? You don't pay attention unless you specifically save every receipt every year and itemize your sales tax on your income tax. You really don't see how much you pay in sales tax. You look at the receipt when you buy something, and again, depending on the state, some states don't have sales tax on food, some have, different. I'm talking about average, okay? But you look at something and you go, crap, the sales tax is high. I mean, here in Tennessee, it's like 9.25% or something like that. I mean, I look at a receipt and holy shit, I pay a lot of sales tax. But we don't have state income tax. And yes, the states have to make their money somehow. Somebody's got to pay for the roads. Somebody's got to pay for the street lights and everything like that. That's all got to get done. I get it. But when Uncle Sam is taking more money from you and me than our basic necessities cost, we're no longer living in a free society. Okay, and I'm not talking free as in it doesn't cost anything. I'm talking about free as in you have the right to choose your own way. This is something that nobody even looks at, how we are paying for our own destruction. All that money they get, and they can't balance a budget. All that money that's taken from you, and the pittance that you're left with, and you have to balance a budget. Because the government doesn't care when the mortgage on the White House, I know it's not got a mortgage, okay, isn't paid, okay? But skip a mortgage payment or two on your house and see what happens. You can't print more money. You can't lower interest rates to make it. You can't go out to the backyard to the money tree like all the immigrants think we've got in the backyard here. This is a land of milk and honey, and rivers flow in gold, and dollar bills grow on trees in the backyard. That's not happening. I wanted you guys to know how much you're actually supporting, not by choice, the government that is actively trying to destroy your life. If that doesn't wake you up or wake up some of these sheep as to what's going on, I don't know what is. But Uncle Sam is the greatest pickpocket in the world. Pinball out.